Hello again, my name is Jeff and thank you for joining me on my latest restoration from die-cast powder coating. Today we're going to go back to the aviation theme. Today we're going to restore a Vickers Viscount. It's a Dinky model. This one was originally in the Air France livery, but I've decided to go for the BA livery. This is the aircraft, the actual aircraft that it will be. Unfortunately this particular aircraft crashed in Belfast many years ago. It's just one of the Dinky unfortunate registrations say pick. So here we go. It's been crayoned with painted in somehow with a pen, but as you can see, a bit of a state. So let's have a quick little look at it. Just first of all, taking off these little burrs on the at the end of the axles. Pretty similar to the Matchbox ones. Very fiddly though, there's not much room to move without damaging the wheels. And there we go, all the parts together now, all the wheels off. And I did order some new axles, but later on, as you see, they didn't fit, they were too big, so I had to reuse the old axles. Now, looking outside, it is about 3 weeks ago now. It's snowing outside. You can see my damaged fence. I've been spending a lot of time doing DIY and repairing that fence and doing other painting and things around the house. So here we go with the sandblasting. I've decided to get the sandblaster out, even though it was snowing, as I think I'll just get a little bit of a better finish on this one. As I mentioned, this is the aluminium oxide. There we go, all cleaned with the sandblaster. There's just a few little marks that I'll sort out before painting. And we'll also just go over now with the spinning wire brush. Did seem to come up quite nicely. And then, as normal, once that's done, we'll put it in the oven for about 10 minutes. That just bakes out the impurities in the metalwork, and then go over with the usual acetone just to clean any residue off on the metalwork. Okay, now ready for the powder coating. I'm going to use the Electrostatic Magic High Chrome again. This is what I use for the de Havilland Comet, and then I'll put the white on top once this is done. This is my usual spot where I'd like to thank all my subscribers, both old and new, anyone else that watches as well, and thank you very much for your comments, which are greatly appreciated. Unfortunately, this video will be the last for a little while. I've got our dog, I think I mentioned, coming from Siberia. Touch wood, all being well, should be here or leaving on the 18th from Poland. So I'm going to have my hands full for a little while trying to look after that. But I will be back a little bit later on. But this will be the last video just for a little while. I will show you some videos if you're interested when she finally does come. And as I say, hopefully it should be the 18th, it leaves Poland. Well, there's the picture of the original aircraft, and I'm now masking up the fuselage, and here's my special Mercedes Arctic white, and there we go after painting. And it seems to have come out fairly well. So I'm now going to paint the nose. The decals still haven't come yet. This is probably about 2 weeks after I started. It does have a little red stripe on the nose. It just goes over the front a little bit and under. As you know, detail work is not my forte, but this did seem to turn out alright. And I've also given the wheels a coat of gloss black paint. And finally, a couple of weeks later now, here's the decals. I've also ordered some propellers as well. And there's some pins for the centre of the propellers. And also the pins for the wheels, but as I mentioned, they were too big. So I didn't show this. It was a right faff trying to get this done. It did turn out right in the end, of a lot of fiddling, but at least that's done. So just putting the, if you can see, we'll wait in a minute, just putting on the registration number onto the tail. So this aircraft was Juliet Alpha, which was fine. This was the original colours it was in, and this aircraft was doing a ferry flight from Heathrow to Belfast to pick some people up, but unfortunately crashed on landing coming into Belfast. I think that was in the 50s. Now this is one old aircraft I do have a little bit of experience with. It was my first commercial flight. It was a British Midland aircraft from Heathrow to Birmingham, probably in the early 80s. A right old classic, very powerful, had 4 Rolls-Royce Dart engines, and for a smallish aircraft you did notice the power when taking off, and that was my first commercial flight, as I say, from Heathrow to Birmingham, and I just started working. Now just finally the registration onto the wing. Just rolling out the water underneath using a cotton bud. Right, now we'll get the wheels back on. As I mentioned, I had to reuse the original pins. The other ones were much too big for the actual undercarriage and going through the wheels. So I'm going to go back to the way I did the Comet before, just a little bit of glue at the end of the pin, and then just push the wheel on, but still make sure it turns afterwards. Now I did try painting the propellers, they were a little bit rusty, and I decided to give the propellers a coat of paint when they're actually on. I found that it was difficult to paint them, so I am now using the centre pins that came with the kit with the propellers, and a little bit of super glue on the end of the pin, and just press that into the engine casing. And just make sure that they still turn. Now whilst they're fitted, I can now use the silver paint just to go over the blades. I did have trouble trying to paint them without them being on. There was actually nowhere to put them without ruining the paint job. And then finally letting those dry overnight, I'm now going to use some yellow paint just to put the safety yellow tips onto the end of the blades as the original had, just to finish it off. And there we go, she's finished. Okay, let's have a little look of what she used to look like. Well, a little bit of a state, no propellers. The paint's pretty much gone, as it was in Air France colours, but as I said, I've decided to go for the BEA colours. Had to wait quite a time for the decals to arrive. In the meantime, lots of DIY to do. And let's have a little look of what she looks like now. There we go, in the chrome powder coat paint. The white top, red nose is done, and the propellers replaced with the little red tips. As I say, I will be back after a little bit of a break. I'll probably show you the dog if you're interested. It's due to leave on the 18th if you're interested. It's taken us a long time. It'll be about 5.5 months old by the time it gets here. So I will be back. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And the little Viscount. Beautiful classic aircraft. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Please take care out there and stay safe. And I hope to see you again very shortly. Goodbye for now. Thank you.